It's now my great pleasure to introduce our mayor, Mayor Sumbul Siddiqui. Mayor Siddiqui immigrated to the United States with her family from Pakistan at the age of 2. She was raised in Cambridge affordable housing at Ringe Towers and Roosevelt Towers and attended Cambridge Public Schools, graduating from Cambridge Ringe and Latin. She went on to attend Brown University and Northwestern University and used her public policy and law degrees to provide legal aid in the communities of Lawrence, Lynn, and Lowell. Today, Mayor Siddiqui draws on her experiences and expertise to advocate on behalf of the city's most vulnerable people. She fights for racial justice, affordable housing, employment opportunity, equitable access to education, vibrant retail, and many other community-strengthening policy matters. No one could have predicted that the mayor would also have to lead our community through a global pandemic and a racially charged time in our nation's history. But she is doing just that with compassion, calm, poise, and a lot of very hard on-the-ground work. Mayor Siddiqui, we are grateful for your leadership and your example and are so glad that you are with us today. Mayor Siddiqui.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for that introduction. It's a pleasure to have you as a partner in all this work. As I have done it, it's been so important. So thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with the Kendall community today. Right now, as a community, we're facing 2 pandemics simultaneously: COVID-19 and systematic racism. And it's heartening to know that our Kendall community is comprised of scientists and companies tackling the former pandemic by working on vaccines and treatments. And we as a community have to tackle and are tackling the latter pandemic together. There's a lot of work to do around racial equality in Cambridge, and the city needs your help to get there. So I'm going to start with COVID-19 and the response from the Kendall Square community. There's so many Cambridge residents and companies who've contributed to the city's Mayor's Disaster Relief Fund, which goes directly into the hands of our residents and small businesses here in Cambridge. The fund launched March 19th, and to date, we've raised over $4 million and have dispersed over $3 million to residents and small businesses. And small businesses have applied for these funds for up to $10,000. And these grants do not need to be paid back and can help businesses get back on their feet. I really want to take a moment to thank the donors, the tremendous support that's directly come from the Kendall community. We have Takeda, Novartis, Biogen, Amgen, Cambridge Side Partners, Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard, and MIT, who've just been with us since day one. So really, really want to thank our partners and our donors there for getting this fund, which most communities aren't able to have up and running and very strong. So really, really from the bottom of my heart, and from so many residents who've just said thank you, that this has helped them tremendously. It has gone such a long way. The Broad Institute has been such an instrumental partner as we combat COVID-19. They launched a pilot program in partnership with our Cambridge Public Health Department and Pro EMS ambulance service to conduct COVID-19 testing of all residents and staff members at our 7 skilled nursing facilities and assisted living facilities. This program started April 9th. And in the first 4 days of the pilot program, about 1,000 people were tested, with 200 of those tests being positive for COVID-19. And prior to that, the city had only known about 24 cases. So this program has served as a true model for other sites across the Commonwealth, and has been the first step in how the city has navigated our testing capabilities. It's helped us to, Broad Institute has helped us conduct COVID testing for residents and staff at our homeless shelters, using the same rapid testing surveillance methods used at the nursing facilities. We've also been able to provide mobile testing sites in the port right nearby. And today we start a mobile testing site in North Cambridge. And we go to the community centers, right? We want our most vulnerable to be tested. And so now we've actually tested over 12,000 individuals over the last couple of months. And our mobile outreach activities account for about 40% of that volume. And based on many of the surrounding cities, we have done more testing than most. And so that's really, really important. And so the Broad Institute has been a tremendous partner. They've allowed us to create this access for those who are at the greatest risk of in our community, and have enabled us to respond quickly and effectively to the needs of our community. So another thank you to the Broad Institute. So while the past 3 months have been challenging, complicated, heartbreaking, we've also witnessed so much generosity, shared sacrifice, and countless reasons for hope. And it's been so important to come together during these times to support our residents in need. And I know one of the most wonderful things that you all do is engage folks in Kendall Square's Challenge Day of Giving. And while I was just disappointed that I couldn't join you in competing in challenges for our nonprofit community, your contributions supported programs such as De Novo. And as a former legal aid attorney, I especially thank you for supporting legal aid, and also our amazing Cambridge Arts Center. It's truly just such an honor to see all that you do and all that the work that your companies do. It's an honor to work with such inspirational and collaborative organizations like you all. And as someone who's grown up here, it is truly amazing to see what Kendall has become. I do remember it being an area that was just parking lots, and now it's become something else. And I think one of the most beautiful things about our city is also the diversity and the many businesses that call Cambridge home. We have about 110,000 residents, and with our racial diversity increasing each year. But as many of us know, the divide is increasing every year. For those who've grew up here and are lower income versus those who've moved here for educational or professional opportunities. And my goal as mayor is to ensure that everyone has equal access to housing, healthcare, food, and educational opportunities. But it is a balancing act of those issues. And it's always been difficult because the cost of living here continues to rise in Cambridge. And these issues have been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic's had a huge impact on our restaurant and retail communities. But the KSA has helped in making sure these local businesses are supported, whether it's through social media campaigns or on ordering online, and other ways to continue supporting the businesses we cherish. With that said, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and the city really has to be there with you. And we're going to continue to also ask your support in supporting these businesses as we move forward and enter phase 2 of the governor's reopening Massachusetts plan. So there's a long, long road ahead. And I know that Kendall community can always use your help in different ways. In the future, I think as we can gather and do more things in person, there will be more opportunities. In the meantime, I think I've been telling members of the community, you can do a few things. You can vote, fill out your census to give the federal government an understanding of how much money we need in our states and cities for the residents that live here. We still are accepting donations to the Mayor's Disaster Relief Fund. Our goal is to get to 5 million. These funds go directly to the hands of thousands of residents, and there's still a lot of need. We receive calls and emails every day, and so my goal is to really try to help as many people as possible, but that work is never ending. So your partnership is always appreciated there. So finally, I do want to circle back to the second pandemic I addressed earlier. We have to do more for our Black community. The current COVID-19 pandemic shows Black people have been disproportionately affected, with the latest data showing that Black individuals have died from the disease at almost 3 times the rate of white people. And Black people here in Cambridge have tested positive at almost 3 times the rate of white people, specifically, further showing racial disparities and inequities. And I think as leaders, we often invoke Black Lives Matter in the wake of a racist incident or a tragic death. But this isn't enough. It's not. It has to be part of our daily work. You know, when we say Black Lives Matter, we mean they matter in healthcare, in education, in our workplace. They matter in every facet of life. So my call to the Kendall community is this. We all have different tools we can access depending on our privilege and our experience, our expertise. But we have to call on you and to use these tools, right, to contribute to ensuring that Black lives do matter. We have to buy from Black restaurants and businesses, donate to causes elevating Black Lives Matter movement, and more importantly, is also doing the real critical DEI work that you've all started. You've hosted so many important community conversations on bias and systematic discrimination. This is now more important than ever. So I urge you to grapple and continue that work and make sure it's reflected in your companies, right? It's reflected in the work that you do every day. We have to look inside and out, from the top and down, and to see that this belief is truly reflected in our community, in our space. So I really do look forward to hearing more about the 2020 commitment. I look forward to doing this work with you together. It's been quite a challenging 2020, but 2020 is teaching us so much as well. And I think this is the year that I feel it. I think a lot of people feel it. As challenging as it's been, it has also brought tremendous opportunity to bring change and to do really critical work that we haven't been able to in the past. So thank you so much for having me today. Thank you to CA Web. Thank you to her team. And I look forward to working with the Kendall community in the future. Thank you.